Permissions under SQL Server Security. My name is Vahankar and I welcome you on our YouTube channel Decode ITES. Decode ITS provides you single learning platform for multiple IT technologies. List of topics on board for today are permissions, things DBA and security admin should consider while assigning permissions, permission statements, permission names, permission check elements and process. Today we will discuss about third component of SQL Server Access, permissions and its components. What are permissions? Permissions are most crucial aspect of SQL Server security. Permissions means privileges over securables to perform mentioned activity. Each securable has its own permissions. Securables can be divided into three types on basis of their scope: database, server, and schema. As they are different on basis of their scope, objects comes under those securables are also different, and permissions associated with each object can also be different. As discussed in last slide, permissions are most crucial aspect of SQL Server security. DBAs should be very careful while assigning any permissions. There are a list of things DBA and security admins should consider while assigning permissions. First is least privilege user account. DBA and security admin should consider each permission for review to ensure least privilege user account approach is implemented. Additional access may lead your system to data security and availability risk. This means as and when any user or a group reach to DBAs or security admins for particular permissions, DBAs should carefully review that permission and their business justification. They should try to provide least minimum access to them, in which their work will not hamper and they will not have any additional access to system. This is the best way to secure your system. Second is role-based permissions. Permissions can be assigned directly to individual users, groups, or server and database roles. Permission assigned to server and database roles can be inherited to users assigned to the role. You can create customized user-defined server and database role for your requirements. Managing permissions of role is far easier than managing permissions of individual users. So, what role-based permission is trying to help you that if you find particular permission need to be given for a list of users, instead of managing those permissions on all users, you can create a server or database role with those permissions, and that role can be assigned to those users. In this way, you need to manage those permissions only for particular role. In case of future, you want to change the permissions, only the permissions of that role need to be changed. Default groups over individual logins. Once you create customized user-defined server and database roles, you can assign them to individual logins as well as Windows AD groups. DBA and security admins should keep reviewing the individual requesting access. If multiple users belong to same group, then they should be forced to have Windows AD group so that permissions can be granted to that group. And users will be able to log into the system after permission inherited from that group. For example, you need to give similar permissions to 10 users. This makes 50 entries to make and manage by DBAs. With the help of role-based permissions, you can create one customized user-defined role with all 5 permissions and assign it to all 10 users. This brings 50 entries to 10 and reduce DBA stress. Now you review and found these 10 users are related to two business groups. You ask them to have Windows 80 group, and this will further bring your entries down from 10 to 2. That means if DBAs and security admins are careful while assigning any permissions, they can reduce their stress and security management of SQL Server. Permissions through procedures and functions. DBAs should promote assigning permissions through procedures and functions in place of direct object access. This helps in securing your object details and brute force attack by adding an extra layer in database security. Whenever requester requests any data from SQL Server, he is concerned about output, not about the objects used. We can ask him to use store procedure and function to fetch the data or insert the data. This helps in securing the object details of your SQL Server. Also, when you ask them to use function and store procedure, it also gives additional benefit in your SQL Server performance in comparison of ad hoc queries. Permission statements. SQL Server gives three T-SQL statements for permission management. First is grant. Grant grants the permission on mentioned securables. Revoke. Revoke the permission on mentioned securables. This is default state of any new object. Permission revoked from user or role can still be inherited from other groups or roles to which principal is assigned. For example, you have a particular user and that particular user is not able to access a table because you have revoked the permissions. Now you edit a Windows group in SQL instance and by chance this user is also a part of that group. If you assign a permission to that group to access the table, then this user will also able to access the table because permissions will inherit it from the group to the user. Next is deny. Deny revokes the permission so that it cannot be inherited. Deny takes precedence over all permissions except deny does not apply to object owners and member of sysadmin. This means deny permission will not work for DB owner, object owner, or sysadmin principals. If you deny permission on object to a public role, it denies to all users and roles except for object owners and sysadmins. Permission name. SQL Server comes up with long list of permissions that can be allocated. It's not possible for anyone to memorize all those permissions or keep it handy in a physical format. SQL Server gives you a function that you can use to list down all the permissions available in particular version. sys.fn built-in permissions can be used to list down all the permissions for each DB or server level objects. Let me take you to my SQL Server instance and we will run this query to see all the available permissions. Microsoft SQL Server comes up with sys.fn built-in permission system function to check all the permissions available in particular database in particular version. So let's execute it and it will give you 248 permissions. That's why I'm saying it's not possible for anyone to memorize. So you can use this function to list down permissions available for your purpose. In this function, you can find permissions related to database, permissions related to schema, permission related to assembly, permission related to full text, permission related to server. So there are list of permissions in different segments. Permission check elements. SQL Server permission verification works on three core elements: security context, permission space, and required permissions. SQL Server security has three aspects: to whom you want to assign the permission, on which you want to assign the permission, and what permission you want to assign. Let's discuss each element one by one. To whom you want to assign the permission is known as security context or SQL Server principals. SQL Server logins, server roles, database users, and roles are the one who can request and can have the permissions. On which you want to assign permissions is called permission space or securables. Securables are one on which permissions can be assigned. Securables are divided on basis of their scope, server, database, and schema. What permission you want to assign, considered as required permissions or permissions. Types of permissions you can give to principal over securables. Each securable has its permission type. So these three elements helps you in deciding to whom you want to assign permission, on which you want to assign permission, and what permissions you want to assign. Once you finalize permission elements and assign permissions to SQL Server principals, those principals can request access over securables. As and when access requested, SQL Server run permission check process. SQL Server has inbuilt process of permission validation, and each time action requested on securable, this process will run. You cannot modify or control this process. Steps of permission check process are as below. Check if requester is member of sysadmin fixed server role or DBO. We know sysadmin fixed role, SA, and DBO are super roles and they override all the security checks. If your requester is sysadmin or SA or DBO, SQL Server will grant the access over the secureable and process is completed. If your requester is not from them, it will goes to next step. Next step is allow access if ownership chaining is applicable and access check on the request earlier in the chain pass the security check. If your SQL Server is enable ownership chaining and same object is accessed in the same chain previously, then SQL Server will grant the access without further checks. If this is not applicable, it will lead to next step. Third is to get the real identity of principal, SQL Server consolidates the list in which this principal exists. This may be the groups or any other server role which are assigned to this principal. Once security context is listed down, collect all the permission from permission space. That means all the groups and server roles or database role assigned to that principal that were listed down in last step, permissions of those roles now list down. Identify the required permission for requested action. Now you have the complete list of permissions assigned to particular principal directly or indirectly from groups. You can find that particular permission is there or not which was requested. Permission check fail if permissions was not enough or required permission is directly or indirectly not available. Pass the permission check if required permission is available directly or indirectly. This completes the permission check and principal is able to access secureable and can perform the required action. We had completed today's session on permissions under SQL Server security. For any questions, please leave comments on video or contact us.
Thanks for watching. Do like, share and comment our videos. Also subscribe to our channel.